This is the agreement for summer 2024 interns, and it's an agreement between the college and you as the student who intends to participate in an internship. And we're going to go over these points together just because it is a legal document. We want to make sure you know what you're agreeing to and signing up for. So these first few bullets are just more general, broad information. Says you're the first one that you're going to be doing an internship proposal, submitting it in Handshake, and that has to be approved through your department for credit, your advisor, and as an F1 student, the international student advisor, etc. The second one says that if you are requesting funding in connection to this internship, that decisions about your eligibility and the amount of assistance are outside the scope of this agreement. And do keep in mind that not all internships are eligible for grant assistance. Generally, if they're unpaid by the organization, you would be eligible, but we would look at that. Sometimes if it is paid but not enough, you might still be, but that's outside the scope of this agreement. The next bullet there says that you can choose to participate in these internships, that you're choosing to do it. And this is related to COVID-19. And we've left it in there because, there's constant variance, different things popping up. But in this case, it says that the internship will only be approved if the organization meets requirements recommended by the CDC. And right now, there's no requirements recommended, no mask, no face coverings, that kind of thing. But if the CDC did go back to that, this would be a requirement of the internship. And then the next one, a copy of this agreement will be provided to the employer. Once you get an offer and you've accepted that and done your proposal, we do send them a copy of your proposal and a copy of this agreement. And it's really just for their documentation and their information purposes, because they sometimes like to be able to document that you were registered for credit. That makes a difference with labor laws and that sort of thing. So then the next one is that the proposal does identify and provide contact information for all the parties involved, for you, the organization, the site supervisor, the faculty sponsor, and my office. So everybody has everyone's contact information. The next one, the student understands and agrees that as an intern, you are not an employee of the organization or college. This, even if it's paid by them or unpaid, depending on the terms of your offer, you are not entitled to employee benefits, workers' compensation, unemployment compensation, or things that are covered by laws and regulations governing the rights of employees. Now, there are some exceptions to that. Some employers will give you, if you're being paid, will give you some benefits. But in general, this is the case. You are not considered an employee of the college or the site. And then the last bullet here is that you're representing to the college and to the organization that you are able to travel and live and work independently during the full time of this internship. But this is subject to any caveats or restrictions that you disclose in writing and that has been agreed to by the college, my office, and the organization. So you do have to disclose those. If you're someone who has some limitation in some way, or something that has to be considered, you have to disclose those to us and to the employer. Otherwise, there would not be any kind of accommodation or anything. So then the student further agrees to, and these are the ones where you will have to initial each statement. You're agreeing to perform the internship duties and academic assignments, because there's both, described in the offer. That's your duties. And on the internship proposal. And you're agreeing to do those to the best of your ability and to the satisfaction of the supervisor at the site and your faculty sponsor. The next one be that the work hours and time periods specified in the offer, you're agreeing to work those hours and to understand that time off for vacation should not be requested during this internship. You may not, these are consecutive weeks, you may not be gone for a week of vacation or anything like that. Occasionally somebody does get sick, you need to, miss a day or so, but that's it. You do have to reach out and let us know, let me and your faculty sponsor know if that is the case. And of course, you would be notifying your supervisor there, but anything more than a day or two is not acceptable. C, you're agreeing to follow the rules, procedures, personnel policies of the organization and be particularly mindful of those related to confidentiality. D, obtain the organization's written approval before you post anything on social media regarding the organization, its culture, operations, the way they do things, employees, or clients and customers. Now, if your duties of the internship is to make social media posts, then you agree to post those on the organization's social media and with the organization's approval. This is so important. I'd have to emphasize these two things, confidentiality and social media. Just so you are aware, we have had students fired because of this, and it puts us, the college, in a difficult position, sometimes some liability, if you are posting things about the people you work with or about their clients that they serve or customers. This is really serious. So I can't emphasize these two things enough. These are, could result in lawsuits. So make sure you're very careful about this. And section E here, you're agreeing to report to the internship site promptly and in the event of illness or emergency, that you would notify the site supervisor at the organization, give them as much advance notice as is reasonably possible. And if this is what I was talking about just a minute ago, if an extended absence of more than 3 consecutive days is necessary, you have to also notify your faculty sponsor and me, the director of internships, by phone and email. Follow any required safety precautions related to COVID-19. Like I say, right now there aren't any, but should that change, we would want you to follow those restrictions or precautions. In G, you're agreeing to fully accept the increased health risks related to travel and housing and work during the COVID-19 pandemic. And we certainly understand that that has wound down where most people are vaccinated. And so it's not as serious as it was before, but you do accept that there is some increased risks, as you're going through airports and public transportation and all these things, but you do release the college from any liability in this regard. H, you are agreeing to be responsible for your own medical insurance while enrolled at the internship. Now, some of you have Medicaid insurance and it covers you in the state that issues it, or there are occasionally, I think, some agreements with 1 or 2 states, but in general, it only covers you in the state where the coverage was issued. So if you have Medicaid in Kentucky and you're doing an internship in South Carolina, you are not covered on Medicaid in South Carolina. So we would need to add you to the college's insurance for the summer, and we can do it, but you have to let us know if that's the case. Now, most F1 students, you're already on the college's insurance, and there are a few other people who might be, so that you would have insurance, over the summer. Then in section I here, if you have a vehicle, you are agreeing to have auto insurance that's required by law. So it doesn't require you have full coverage, but you have to have car insurance. And if you're driving a personal vehicle for commuting, you understand that under no circumstances should you provide transportation in your vehicle for employees or clients of the organization. If you have to drive for that organization, it should be their vehicle, or they should be taking you with them, or you can drive your own car. on your own, but you cannot transport employees or clients of the organization. That puts you, this is to protect you. In J here, you are granting permission for the college and the Office of Internship to use your name, photo, and major and internship site for informational purposes in written materials, presentations, social media, and online. All we're doing in a case like this is saying, this student did an internship here. That's generally what that is. And that is just to let other students know what internships are out there, to let donors who might have funded you see what you did, those kinds of things. We're very careful with those. And then K, you're granting permission for the college faculty and staff to access your academic and financial information pertaining to the internship as deemed necessary for informational and reporting purposes. What this means is, like, I do have to share, if you're funded by a particular donor, I have to report on that. I provide that to our philanthropy office. They need to know for reporting purposes. They will probably tell the donor. We typically use your first name only. We don't give any contact information or anything like that, but you are granting permission for staff to know this. Like in the registrar's office, they would need to know. The financial aid office has to see your funding forms, that kind of thing. So that's what the permission is about. And then L, you are agreeing to provide contact information for the people or the persons you would want us to contact if there was an emergency. So that would be on the last page of the agreement. Then section 2 here, the student further agrees that you're responsible for your own decisions about living and travel arrangements. You're also responsible for any necessary medical treatment that you might need. Like if you typically take certain prescriptions, if you have prescriptions, or if you have therapies that you need, those are your responsibility. And this would also include, should you get something like COVID-19, you would be responsible for your medical treatment. The college is not. In the event that the emergency medical care became necessary and the student was unable to secure it, the college may be notified, and may, but is not obligated to secure medical treatment on the student's behalf. That would be done by Student Life. And this would be included, this is more related to something like an accident of some kind. It includes, but it's not limited to, surgery and anesthesia. And in such circumstances, the student accepts and agrees to be personally responsible for the costs related for any kind of treatment or care that the college might secure for you on your behalf. It is still your insurance and you that pays for those costs. And the college nor its representatives shall be responsible for the availability or quality of the emergency medical care. And item C, neither the college, the Office of Internships, or the organization, or any of their representatives are responsible for the costs of medical treatment incurred on your behalf. It seems like this is repetitive, but it does have to be spelled out very carefully. And in the event that the college or organization did make some kind of, at their own discretion, if they did make some kind of interim financial arrangements for you on your behalf in consideration of medical treatment, those arrangements are not deemed to be a waiver of this provision, and the student still remains ultimately primarily responsible for costs of any necessary medical treatment on your behalf. So then D, the student understands and agrees that they are solely responsible for any costs arising out of voluntary or involuntary withdrawal from the internship prior to its completion. That includes withdrawal caused by illness or disciplinary action by the college or the organization. So this means if you quit before it's finished, or if you were fired before it's finished, you're responsible for the costs related to that. Like if you bought a plane ticket and went someplace that is you. We might be giving you funding, but it is your money then, and you have lost it, and we may have to charge you back for some things. This is, like I said, the funding part is outside the scope of this agreement, but just be aware that you could be held completely responsible for any costs if you quit or got fired for some reason. We always look at it though. We look at that. And in item E here, the student understands that you are subject to the Berea College Code of Conduct throughout the internship experience, and also subject to discipline under the Student Judicial Code of the college, because you are enrolled in a class and you are enrolled at the college, so during this time you are subject to all the things you would be, for another class. And then in section F, the student understands and agrees that the internship is an exercise in independent living. Internship activity and study outside the regular programs and services of the college, and it's been arranged by you or at your request. We've helped you, but you're choosing to do this. And the student understands that extracurricular or leisure activities that you engage in when you're traveling to, during, and after, back from the internship, those are not part of the internship, and these are at your own risk and expense. For instance, if you decided to, stop at a state park, or see some sights on the way to your internship, or on the weekends while you're there, you go to a concert and you twist your ankle, these kinds of things. That doesn't mean you got hurt on your internship. That was a leisure activity outside the internship. So just understand that this is your independent living internship activities, and outside of the internship itself are not considered part of the internship. On G, the student understands that the college and organization have no responsibility whatsoever for your personal conduct. If you get arrested, you get arrested. Health or your safety during the term of the internship. You need to be reasonably careful and safe when you are in big cities or in different places, at work. This says, except as expressly set forth in this agreement. In the event that the internship is with an organization selected or arranged through the college agrees to exercise ordinary care in such selection or arrangements, but we disclaim any responsibility for the actions or conduct of the organization, its employees, its clients, or any third parties that are involved. Okay, and then section 3, the college is agreeing to provide academic support, supervision of the internship course, have pre and post meetings with you as needed, and evaluate the internship and the learning experience. We'll provide counsel to you if any special problems arise. Let us know. We can only help you with things that you disclose, so let us know, and we can help you work through those problems and make recommendations. There's a few every summer, and we do help students with that. Then we also agree to grant you academic course credit for successful completion of the internship as it was described in your offer and in the internship proposal. This agreement and the internship proposal based on the offer provided by the organization constitute the entire agreement and understanding between the college and the student in respect to the internship, and it is construed and governed according to the laws of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Then you can initial this one that you've listened and agreed to all the statements here. Then you have to sign it. It is a DocuSign form, and it'll come directly to us. We also, it also asks you to include the name of the persons that you would want us to contact in case there is a true emergency. Of course, we always, if there was an emergency, we would always reach out to this person first. We would not act without, reaching out to this person. those other sections that we talked about, that the college could arrange for emergency medical treatment and things if that was needed. That would only be a last resort. We would definitely reach out to your emergency contact first. Here's our information for contacting us if you need to. If you have any questions, be sure to let us know, reach out to us, and we can answer those. Thanks very much.